Welcome to our channel. Today, we're exploring some of the most extraordinary Roosevelt dimes ever produced, coins that have captured the attention of collectors around the world for their rarity, condition, and incredible value. From overlooked circulation pieces to hidden modern rarities, these dimes tell stories far beyond their size. Wait a moment. Take a closer look. Because the coin we're starting with today might seem familiar, simple, and ordinary, but it deserves a second glance. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that millions of people have handled without giving it any thought. It circulated everywhere, sat in pockets, cash drawers, vending machines, and glove compartments across the country. Nothing about it appears unusual on the surface. Yet within this very common issue, there exists a small number of coins that stand out in ways most people would never expect. The Denver Mint in 1977 was operating at full speed. It produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes that year, all intended for everyday use. These coins were meant to be spent, not collected. Because of that, most of them show typical signs of handling, tiny marks from the minting process, small scratches from circulation, and general wear that dulls the fine details of the design. This is normal for coins made for routine commerce. But every now and then, a very small group of coins from a large mintage survives in a way that separates them from the rest. With the 1977 D dime, that separation is almost entirely about condition. Not errors. Not unusual varieties. Just condition, preservation, sharpness, and the overall quality of the strike. For collectors, the search always begins with the details. On this dime, the first area examined is Roosevelt's portrait. His hair should show clean, well-defined lines instead of blending together. His facial features, especially the eye, mouth, and the curve of the jaw, should appear sharp rather than flat. These differences indicate whether the coin was struck with a strong, fresh die or a worn one, and whether the strike pressure was adequate. The reverse is equally important. The torch at the center should show clear separation between the flame's lines. The olive branch on one side and the oak branch on the other should display crisp leaf patterns and strong edges. When these elements appear fully defined, it means the coin received an unusually strong strike for the year. But strike alone doesn't make a rare coin. Preservation plays a major role. Collectors examine the surfaces for marks, scratches, and signs of handling. A typical 1977 D dime shows contact marks from being transported in large bags at the mint or from mixing with other coins after release. These marks are normal and expected. The rarest examples, however, have smooth, clean fields and bright, original luster. The surfaces reflect light evenly. There are no dull patches caused by friction. Even under magnification, these coins appear untouched by circulation. It is this combination, strong strike plus pristine surfaces, that elevates a 1977 D dime into an extremely rare category. Coins like this are difficult to find because they had to survive decades without entering circulation or experiencing any of the wear that normally affects pocket change. Many collectors believe that the top examples were pulled aside early, stored carefully, or simply had the good fortune of being preserved accidentally. Whatever the reason, their survival creates a type of rarity not based on how many were minted, but on how few remain in top condition. As a result, when a superb example of the 1977 D dime appears, it immediately draws the attention of collectors who focus on modern high-grade coins. These collectors understand how unusual it is to find a coin from a large production year that looks nearly perfect. They know that true condition rarities can be more valuable than many low-mintage coins. So when one of the finest known 1977 D dimes surfaced at auction, it became clear to experts that it stood above the rest. Every detail was sharply struck. The surfaces were remarkably clean. The luster was bright and uninterrupted. It was a coin that clearly represented the highest level of preservation possible for this issue. During the auction, collectors with long-standing interest in high-quality Roosevelt dimes recognized the significance of the piece. They understood that coins like this do not appear often. It wasn't just a nice example of a common date, it was a standout among millions. A coin that represented the best that the Denver Mint produced that year. Interest grew as more collectors realized how uncommon a coin of this quality truly is. Not only was it a condition rarity, but it also showed the kind of preservation that suggests it had been protected since the day it was minted. This level of survival is what separates average coins from the few that achieve elite status. Its appearance also encouraged other collectors to re-examine their own holdings, leading many to discover just how challenging it is to locate a 1977 D dime in top grade. Even rolls stored for decades rarely contain a piece that reaches this level. That difficulty has helped push the demand for high-end examples even higher. As the auction continued, the coin became the center of attention, and it quickly became clear that this example set a standard for the date. For collectors who specialize in the series, it represented an opportunity that might not come again for many years. It was a chance to secure the best-known example of a coin that is otherwise extremely common in lower grades. And this is where the story of the 1977 D Roosevelt dime reaches its most interesting point. After attracting strong attention and careful study, this particular dime achieved a final price that reflects both its scarcity and its superb condition. By the end of the auction, the finest known 1977 D Roosevelt dime sold for $89,000. Now let's move on to a coin that has quietly captured the attention of collectors, the 1994 D dime with a rare minting error. At first glance, it may look like a standard dime, blending in with countless others from that year. Yet, with a closer inspection, subtle differences emerge, differences that have turned an everyday coin into a prized collectible. These coins often circulated unnoticed for years, only gaining recognition when careful collectors spotted something extraordinary. The 1994 D dimes were produced in very large quantities, intended for everyday use. Most coins from this year show typical signs of handling: minor scratches, slight wear on high points, and loss of luster. However, a very small number escaped the ordinary fate of circulation and remained preserved in a nearly pristine state. Within this select group lies the error coin that has fascinated numismatists for decades. The error itself is subtle, but unmistakable to a trained eye. It results from a misalignment during the striking process, producing slight doubling or shifts in certain design elements. On the obverse, the portrait maintains most of its intended detail, yet careful inspection reveals irregularities in the relief and lines. These small deviations are the key indicators that this is not a standard 1994 D dime, and they immediately capture the attention of collectors. Collectors often focus on the field surrounding the portrait, areas that are normally uniform. On this coin, the fields are smooth and reflective, making the doubled or displaced features stand out more prominently. This contrast between normal surfaces and the error itself is what makes the coin so visually appealing and desirable among experts. The reverse side further highlights the anomaly. While the torch, olive branch, and oak branch remain intact, subtle doubling is visible on the raised areas. These imperfections, though minor, are critical to identifying the coin as a mint error. Unlike damaged or worn coins, this dime preserves the error clearly, which is a major factor in its collectability. Condition is a crucial factor that elevates this coin above others. Many error coins are found in circulated condition, with scratches, abrasions, or uneven wear that obscures the unusual characteristics. This 1994 D dime, however, has retained remarkable luster, with clean, undisturbed surfaces. The relief remains sharp, the edges crisp, and the reading complete, signaling that it was carefully preserved and rarely handled over the years. The rarity of such coins cannot be overstated. While millions of dimes were struck in 1994, only a very small percentage show this specific error, and fewer still survive in top-quality condition. Collectors who specialize in modern errors understand that this combination, scarcity, clear minting anomaly, and exceptional preservation, dramatically increases a coin's desirability. Interest in this coin grew as collectors and numismatic experts studied its unique characteristics. High-resolution photographs, detailed examinations, and comparisons with standard coins confirmed the error, while discussions within collector communities highlighted its importance. The coin soon became a benchmark for modern error collecting, showing that even recent dimes can be highly significant. The story of this coin also illustrates a broader lesson in numismatics: rarity is not always about age. A coin from the 1990s can achieve remarkable significance if it combines unusual production features with careful preservation. Each well-maintained error becomes a point of reference for collectors and a reminder that even everyday coins can hold extraordinary value. Collectors have noted how challenging it is to locate another coin like this. Many 1994 D dimes show wear, bag marks, or slight corrosion, even when stored carefully. This makes the survival of a top-quality example all the more remarkable. It emphasizes the importance of meticulous handling, storage, and verification in maintaining a coin's market potential. Grading also plays a pivotal role in determining the coin's significance. Professional grading not only confirms the presence of the error but also evaluates the coin's condition, luster, and overall preservation. A high-grade 1994 D error dime serves as a reference for collectors and provides confidence in its authenticity, further enhancing its appeal in the numismatic community. Beyond technical details, this coin tells a story about the unpredictability of coin collecting. A coin struck in mass quantities for everyday use can unexpectedly emerge decades later as a coveted treasure. Its journey from a regular circulation piece to a sought-after collectible captures the fascination and passion that drives modern numismatics. The combination of rarity, condition, and unmistakable error has made this coin a highlight for collectors worldwide. People appreciate not only its visual appeal but also the narrative behind it, a coin that quietly endured the passage of time, maintaining its features while most of its peers were worn down. Each surviving example becomes a symbol of preservation, luck, and careful observation. After careful consideration and evaluation by experts, the true value of this remarkable 1994 D dime was recognized. The coin's rarity, well-preserved surfaces, and clear error made it a standout among modern coins. Its journey from an ordinary circulation piece to a prized collectible demonstrates the impact of quality and scarcity in the world of coin collecting. Ultimately, this exceptional coin achieved a value of $58,000, highlighting how even a modern dime, when preserved in extraordinary condition and bearing a distinctive error, can command significant recognition and respect in the collecting community. Up next is a coin from the late 1990s that gained attention in a way nobody expected. The 1999 D dime began its life as an ordinary piece of everyday change, meant to circulate quietly without much notice. Yet over time, collectors realized that a very small number of pieces from this year showed a level of quality far above what is normally seen. These are the coins that eventually became the focus of serious interest. Coins from this period were produced quickly, and the emphasis was on efficiency rather than perfection. Because of that, most 1999 D dimes show small marks, light abrasions, and breaks in luster that are typical for circulation strikes. They were handled in bulk, stored without special protection, and moved through the system in ways that rarely allowed for flawless preservation. That is what makes the few exceptional examples so impressive. On the obverse, the portrait on the finest pieces appears clear and evenly defined. The profile lines are sharp, with noticeable distinction in areas that usually show wear or blending. The fields around the portrait, which tend to collect small nicks over time, remain smooth and consistent. This level of clarity points to a coin that was handled very minimally, if at all, after minting. The reverse design also shows the difference. The branches on either side of the torch retain structure and depth, with details that remain visible even under magnification. The flame, usually one of the first areas to lose sharpness, appears intact and well-shaped. These features indicate that the strike was firm and that the die pressure was distributed evenly across the surface. Surface texture is another factor collectors pay close attention to. On the strongest examples, the luster flows evenly across both sides. There are no dull areas interrupting the shine, and no patches where friction altered the texture. Instead, the surfaces reflect light in a smooth, continuous pattern, an indication of long-term preservation. Even the edge shows signs of careful survival. The reading is complete, evenly spaced, and undisturbed, suggesting the coin never experienced the rough movement through machines and containers that typically causes edge wear. These small indicators, although subtle, help distinguish top-tier pieces from typical examples. As collectors explored more examples from this year, it became apparent that high-end survivors were few and far between. Even rolls that appeared untouched did not always contain a piece of exceptional quality. Many coins showed typical bag marks or slight rub that prevented them from reaching the highest grade levels. Because of this, the number of top-condition 1999 D dimes remained very limited. The appearance of one of the finest known examples generated additional interest. Collectors who focus on modern rarities recognize the significance immediately. This piece displayed the visual qualities and structural sharpness that place it at a level achieved by only a small fraction of coins from its date and mint. Its preservation suggested it had been stored carefully since the day it was produced. This example also highlighted how challenging it is to find modern coins that remain untouched for decades. Even coins kept in basic storage often receive marks over time from shifting, stacking, or casual handling. The survival of one in such outstanding condition drew attention to the role of careful preservation and the value that comes with it. Beyond just the visual appeal, the coin's story reflects the broader interest collectors have in modern condition rarities. People appreciate the meticulous effort that goes into identifying, grading, and confirming coins that exceed expectations for their era. Each high-quality piece acts as a benchmark, demonstrating what is possible when a coin avoids wear, mishandling, or environmental damage. Interest also grew because examples of this quality were extremely difficult to verify. Collectors had to rely on detailed inspections and comparisons, making the process of confirming authenticity and condition an important part of the story. The challenge of locating another coin that could match this level of preservation added to its mystique. As more people became aware of this standout piece, interest continued to build. Collectors who had searched through their own late 1990s coins began to appreciate how rarely a coin from this date could match the same standard. The 1999 D dime developed a reputation for being difficult to find at the highest level of quality, reinforcing the importance of this particular example. Over time, the coin's combination of clarity, clean surfaces, and consistent luster made it one of the most notable modern condition pieces known. Its appearance provided a reference point for collectors and a reminder that even recent coins can hold significant value when preserved exceptionally well. The final amount paid for this remarkable coin reflected its rarity and extraordinary condition. For collectors who understand the challenge of locating a flawless example, this value confirms just how desirable the highest-grade 1999 D dimes have become. After careful evaluation and interest from several serious collectors, the coin ultimately reached a remarkable $46,000, demonstrating that even a modern-era dime can achieve exceptional significance when preservation and quality come together. Moving on to the 2005 D dime, a coin that may appear ordinary at first, but for collectors, it has quietly become one of the most interesting modern pieces. While millions of dimes were produced that year, only a very small number managed to survive in exceptional condition, capturing the attention of those who study modern rarities. Most 2005 D dimes were struck for everyday circulation, moving through cash registers, wallets, and coin rolls. Many show typical wear, faint scratches, loss of luster, or small marks from handling. But the finest examples avoided all of this, preserving their original details and surface quality as if they had been carefully stored from the day they left the mint. On the obverse, the portrait remains sharply defined. Every strand of hair, every facial feature, retains crisp detail. The areas that usually soften first, such as the high points of the cheek and hairline, remain intact, which is unusual for a coin designed to circulate. The surrounding fields are smooth and reflective, offering a striking contrast to coins that have been handled and worn. The reverse side of the coin shows equal precision. The torch, olive branch, and oak branch all retain full depth and structure, even under magnification. The flame of the torch remains well-shaped, and the branches show detailed veins, features often lost in circulation. This level of preservation highlights the care taken in its minting and the fortunate conditions in which the coin survived. Surface quality plays a central role in this coin's appeal. The finest 2005 D dimes display a uniform, flowing luster that covers both sides evenly. There are no dull areas, no marks interrupting the shine, and no rough patches. For a coin produced for everyday use, this level of preservation is extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. The edges of the coin tell another story. The reading is complete, evenly spaced, and undisturbed, which indicates the coin avoided rough handling. On most circulated examples, the edges become worn or nicked, but on the best 2005 D dimes, the reading remains intact, helping to distinguish top-tier examples from the rest. Collectors often search through large quantities of coins to locate such high-quality pieces. Even rolls that appear untouched sometimes contain coins with minor imperfections, faint marks, or soft spots in the strike. This rarity makes finding an example in exceptional condition particularly satisfying for numismatists. Beyond its physical attributes, this coin represents a broader trend in modern collecting. Even coins from recent decades can become significant when they are preserved exceptionally well. Collectors recognize that these coins provide a benchmark for condition, offering insight into the minting standards and handling of the era. The appeal of the 2005 D dime is not limited to its aesthetics. Its survival in high-grade condition demonstrates the intersection of careful preservation, luck, and scarcity. Many coins produced in the same batch were handled or stored without protection, making untouched examples extraordinarily rare. This rarity amplifies its value among collectors who understand the challenge of locating such coins. Experts who have examined the finest 2005 D dimes emphasize the importance of strike quality in addition to preservation. A strong strike enhances the coin's details, while weakly struck areas may reduce visual impact and, ultimately, value. In the top examples, the strike is full and even, highlighting the coin's craftsmanship and boosting its appeal. This coin also reflects how modern collectors evaluate value beyond age alone. Even a coin minted in 2005 can command attention if it combines scarcity, preservation, and visual clarity. It demonstrates that collectors are increasingly focused on quality, rarity, and condition, rather than simply historical age. Over time, high-grade 2005 D dimes became reference points for other collectors seeking the best modern condition coins. Each example serves as a reminder that with careful observation and patience, even relatively recent coins can emerge as highly significant collectibles. In addition, the coin's story reminds collectors of the importance of proper storage. Coins that remain untouched in protective holders or carefully managed collections often rise to the top of desirability. The 2005 D dime shows that even small differences in handling can dramatically affect long-term value. Collectors also pay attention to subtle variations in luster and tone. Slight differences in how the surfaces catch and reflect light can make a coin visually striking, and top examples of this dime display a captivating brilliance that sets them apart. The coin's provenance, or history of ownership, also adds to its story. Those that have remained in the hands of careful collectors for decades often carry an added level of trust and interest among numismatists. Ultimately, the 2005 D dime illustrates how modern coins can transcend their original purpose. What began as a simple piece of everyday change has evolved into a prized example of preservation, craftsmanship, and collector interest. When its market value was finally assessed, it reflected all these factors: rarity, preservation, strike quality, visual appeal, and collector recognition. In the end, the finest 2005 D dime reached a remarkable value of $29,000, a testament to how even recent coins can achieve extraordinary recognition when they survive in exceptional condition and are fully appreciated by the numismatic community. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey through some of the most remarkable dimes. If you enjoyed exploring these coins and their fascinating stories, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay updated on all our future videos. Your support helps us bring more rare and interesting coins straight to your screen.